Mullen Automotive has had another huge volume day. MULN stock spiked up in pre-market but crashed as soon as the market opened. In this video, I will look at why this keeps happening, and I will look at what social media pumpers don't want you to know. So in today's video, I am going to take a look at the very latest press releases, which is in regards to Mullen receiving a huge 6,000 vehicle order and what this actually means, but I will focus more on what new investors need to know about what is going to happen next week. Now, we knew that this shareholders meeting was coming, but things are a little bit different than expected. So in this video, I will analyze exactly what we can expect over the next few weeks. There seems to be a lot of misinformation out there right now about Mullen Automotive. If you have bought shares of Mullen and you do not know the information in this video, then you are at serious risk of losing everything. But this is the only channel that has been correct about absolutely everything that Mullen would do this year. Going back as far as March this year, everything that I said would happen has happened, and I have pointed out massive red flags to watch out for along the way. But if you find any value in my Mullen videos and want me to keep creating regular updates, then can I ask you to smash the like button? I'm aiming to get 400 likes again on this video. Help me achieve this goal. Your likes help the channel grow, but also your likes help spread the truth about this company and its management. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification. Now let's check out the very latest from Mullen Automotive. So yesterday, Mullen Automotive announced a deal from Mullen's latest distribution partner, David Michery, to buy 6,000 of Mullen Class 1 vans. And I have made a video about this already, so I won't go into much detail about this. Across social media, this deal with David Michery is being hailed as a major breakthrough for Mullen Automotive, considering that the transaction is valued at approximately $200 million and deliveries will be commencing in the first quarter of 2023. But everything is not what it seems, and I have explained what I mean in yesterday's video, so check that out at the end of this video. There is a link to this in the description below. But another deal that I did not get to talk about yesterday is this. On Wednesday, Mullen announced a partnership with Loop Global to deploy its EV charging solutions, including public DC fast charging network and residential offerings. So this is another mega money announcement from Mullen this week, as Loop is to offer up to $300 million in available financing via its Loop as a Service program to deploy Level 2 and Level 3 DC public charging stations across the Mullen charging network powered by Loop. As it says here, the two companies have entered into a definitive agreement to build the next generation of public and private EV charging technology, infrastructure, and network solutions, which will support both Level 2 and Level 3 DC fast charging. So this turnkey solution will include everything from site assessment and design to installation and ongoing operations. Importantly, in addition, the companies are teaming up to finance and/or own and operate EV charging infrastructure through Loop's unique financing program called Loop Impact Fund. Further, Loop as a Service payment options provide Mullen EV charging network customers with a no capex budget solution for the turnkey installation of EV charging infrastructure at $0 down, utilizing a portion of the estimated monthly charging revenue to pay for the upgrades over a fixed term. So once again, Mullen are pumping out these big press releases just before a major defining event takes place for this company. Back earlier this year, Mullen made announcements about their battery technology and gave select interviews talking about a major deal with a Fortune 500 company for several hundred vans. This generated a lot of hype around the stock, and Mullen seen this as a great chance to sell shares. For example, at the end of 2021, there were 17 million shares. By March, they had 51 million, and by June, they had diluted shareholders, with the outstanding shares being raised to over 370 million shares. So what has happened to the battery technology and what has happened to the Fortune 500 company? Those announcements were made over 6 months ago, yet we have not heard one thing about the Fortune 500 company since then, nor have we heard anything about their battery technology, which does not even appear on the list of filed patents. And this was done again just a few months ago. Back in September, Mullen announced the Bollinger Motors deal. In October, the ELMS deal and the IGO distribution agreement. Again, they used this hype surrounding the stock to dilute shareholders massively, which I will talk more about in a moment. But right now, Mullen is pulling out the biggest press releases of the lot. The biggest hype of the year so far. The stock's trading volume has spiked up to a level that we have not seen since September, with over 1 billion shares traded in the past few days alone. And this is exactly what they have done all year, just before a major event. So over the next few weeks, we will get the latest earnings report from Mullen Automotive, but before that we have the most important event for shareholders of this company to date. And again, we have these big deals being announced just before this is set to take place. Investor sentiment towards Mullen stock had been at rock bottom in recent weeks as the stock had dropped to a new all-time low, but with these announcements this week, sentiment has once again shifted. All of a sudden, a couple of big press releases, and once again some people are talking about the need to issue new shares to provide the funding to drive on and grow the business. Mullen Automotive filed a Form 14A giving notice of a special meeting of stockholders, which will be held on December 23rd at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The special meeting will be held virtually via live audiocast. Now, the day that this meeting is set for is of huge significance. December 23rd is the Friday before Christmas. This is the last possible trading day of the year and markets close early. Choosing this day and holding the meeting virtually straight away is a big red flag. Now, any shareholders can attend this meeting via the link that is shown here, but no matter how many shares you own of the stock, shareholders have little to no say anyways, which I will discuss in a moment, but let's continue. So if you don't already know, there is a few issues to be discussed at this meeting. Proposal 1 and 2 are the most important proposals. One is the proposal to execute a reverse stock split of the outstanding shares of common stock in an amount not less than 1 for 2 shares and not to exceed 1 for 25 shares, with the exact ratio to be set within the range at the discretion of the board of directors. Now, for anyone who doesn't know why a company would want to do a reverse split in the first place, this is due to the fact that NASDAQ listing rules mean that a company stock must stay above $1 at all times. If the stock falls below $1 for a long period of time, then the company can get delisted off NASDAQ. As we know, Mullen Automotive stock has been trading well below $1 for several months, and they did receive notice in September that they have until March 2023 to get the stock back above $1. As it says in this filing, the reverse stock split could be as little as 1 for 2, but this would be pointless because this would not bring the share price back above $1. And I feel that it is highly likely that they will in fact split by the maximum of 1 for 25. This will look best for the company, and at the end of the day, because the share structure won't look as bad as having billions of shares. If the maximum 1 for 25 ratio is selected, common stock issued and outstanding as of record date will go from 1.659 billion down to 66.3 million shares, which looks far better in the share structure point of view. But proposal number 2 is to increase the number of shares of common stock authorized from 1.75 billion up to 5 billion shares, while proposal number 4 is to approve extra dilution in the form of notes and preferred stock, which would then be converted into even more common stock. Now, when we scroll down a little bit, we can see that only holders of record at the close of business on November 21st are entitled to vote at the special meeting. But as I said a moment ago, this makes very little difference to ordinary shareholders. As we can see here, there is 1.65 billion shares of common stock and 1 AA preferred stock that was awarded to CEO David Michery last month, giving him 1.3 billion votes on the reverse stock split proposal. Now, this AA preferred stock should have given shareholders the biggest wake-up call to date regarding the company's intentions, because David Michery was awarded this stock in exchange for $25,000, which allows him to essentially control the entire vote. And once the shareholders meeting is over, the AA stock will be dissolved and CEO David Michery gets refunded his $25,000, which is just incredible. Now, something that I said about this stock when I first started to cover it back in March was that this seemed like nothing more than a dilution vehicle that would just drain investors' money by constantly issuing new shares and having very little to show for it. We can see here that they currently have 1.65 billion shares of common stock. At the time of my first MULN video, there was 28 million shares outstanding. This is a level of dilution that I have never seen before. And not only that, they have diluted by more than 300 million shares. Look here at the Form Pre-14A filed on November 15th. 1.3 billion shares. And we can see that here highlighted in green on the 15th of November. And now the Form DEF 14A, there is 1.659 billion filed on the 25th of November, only 10 days later. All this company has done all year long is dilute, dilute, dilute. And any time that the CEO is asked about why the share price is dropping, he has responded by saying that he does not know or does not understand how it could be dropping. So guys, what do you think of all of this? Will things be different this time from Mullen Automotive? Will they actually follow through and deliver on their agreements? Or are the new deals with EV Loop and the deal with Randy Marion just another opportunity for management to hype up the stock before a massive dilution? Anyways, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. I will be posting several Mullen videos over the next few days, looking at all the current news in the lead up to the shareholders meeting and the latest financial statements. As always, the information contained in this video is either from Mullen's own SEC filings or my opinion, and I am not a financial advisor, so this is not financial advice. If you are considering investing in this company, then I highly recommend consulting an actual financial advisor. Anyways guys, hit the thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next update video.